What's going on, everybody? We are back with episode 101 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. As always, I am one of your hosts, John, aka at Mr. Megadev on Twitter. My first question. So I was going back and forth and doing all sorts of stuff. How did the video look? Did it play okay? Did it sound okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Outstanding.
No more. Dropped like 1 or 2 frames. It wasn't nearly as framey as last time. It looked. Good.
Last week was pretty bad.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We operate on an.
It was at 29 FPS.
Yeah, we don't have a locked frame rate here.
It cannot be worse than last week's. I mean,
last week was like PUBG on base Xbox One, and this week was like Monster Hunter on Xbox One X. So it's like
very
nice,
very good.
Better.
Nice.
Still not great though.
Nice comparison. Nice. All right. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I'm looking at the stream right now. Yeah, we're looking good, man.
Nice. Cleaned it up from last week.
Yeah, I know. Dude,
Yeah.
we're moving up. As Jay very astutely pointed out on Twitter, this is the critically acclaimed official SDGC. Jay, who exactly are we critically acclaimed by?
critically acclaimed by all the socks out there. We're a pretty pro sock live show, so we've gotten the support of the socks.
Super Deformed Sockcast.
I have a average rating of 98% on Rotten Saki right now. There was one bad review that brought us down though.
Rotten Saki.
Rotten Saki. I don't.
Kind of.
that one of my bookmarks.
I'm gonna hold on to that one. I'm gonna keep that one. No, but it's good to see everybody here. Sam Tolbert is gonna join us tonight to talk about some Shadow of the Colossus. So Sam, as you know, it is always a pleasure to have you on. Yeah.
Here.
There he is. Okay.
I'm right here.
Okay, there you are. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. JT, at some point tonight, are we getting a Saki coin update?
Yeah, the markets are really volatile right now, so we're gonna wait for it to level out before we get a end of day reading on the markets. But an update will be coming.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Keep your powder dry on that, man. I don't want you to go. Because honestly, I care more about that than I do any other portion of this podcast tonight.
I mean, when it comes to people's investments, we gotta take care of you.
We gotta get serious.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been a pretty cool week. Some really big game dropped. At least big for me. I'm really looking forward to talking about it. But first, let's go ahead and kick it off by talking about what we've all been playing all week. Now, you guys know the rules. You've got about 3 minutes to talk about what you've been playing. Jay, are you going to keep time, or do you want me to do it?
I will keep time, and when your time is up, I'll just make a random noise.
Okay, awesome, outstanding, dude. Make it a sexy random noise. Make it as sexy as you can. I'll let you come up with it. Just make it sexy. Who wants to start? Who wants to kick us off? You know what, Sam? Sam, why don't you start?
Okay, so I'll skip the obvious one because it's going to be one of the big topics, so I'll save that one for later. But all the other games, geez, I've actually been playing quite a bit. The X Enhanced patch for The Witcher 3 dropped, so I've been going back through that, and it's a joy to play at a much higher resolution than the base Xbox.
How many times have you
had.
played that game now?
Seriously.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't care. That's the great.
Well,
thing about it.
I'm
The
curious.
combat in that game is excellent.
I honestly don't know. Like the entire franchise once. I've only actually played 1, 2, and 3 back to back one time. But 3, I'm having a blast going back through casually. And the 60 frames really transforms the combat. That's a huge plus. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I also picked up Monster Hunter World, my first Monster Hunter game. Never touched the franchise before. That's a lot of fun. It's been a bit of a learning curve. Matchmaking was kind of borked in the US for the first couple of weeks, and it's still a really convoluted, obnoxious process.
Not good. Yeah, it's not good.
I'm kind of annoyed that no reviewer really mentioned that, or they just kind of glossed over, oh yeah, it's a little frustrating to join matches. No, that doesn't sell the half of it. But other than that, it's a really fun game. I'm having a blast with it. And evidently, it's selling gangbusters on PS4 and Xbox, which is really surprising, but really well. And so I'm glad a lot of people are enjoying it like I am, evidently. Oh, SDGC exclusive. I actually have this impressions piece dropping tonight, but I've been playing a closed alpha, and I'm not under any sort of embargo, don't worry. for an upcoming game from Crytek called
Nice.
Hunt Showdown. Yeah,
Ooh.
this is an SDGC exclusive because the impressions piece is actually going to drop sometime after the podcast.
Yo, this is where you get the
In a
this
couple
is
of
where you get the hottest fucking gaming news right here
The
on
hottest
this
games.
On
podcast.
the
Is
sock
this
news.
our like Super Bowl Cloverfield drop? We got
This
this.
is exactly what this is.
Is
your
the game better than
Super Bowl
Cloverfield?
I hope so.
Stock Bowl Cloverfield drop,
Clover.
basically. But so I actually saw this game behind closed doors last E3. Talked with some of the developers at Crytek. It's the main studio, not any of the spin-offs or the smaller ones. And the best way I can describe it is Bloodborne in first-person co-op. Horrible, like murky swamps. It's dark, disturbing scenery. You can play by yourself or with one partner.
You had my curiosity.
You load up on
now you have my
equipment.
attention.
Beforehand, you got like Winchester rifles, and ammunition is very scarce. You got fire bombs, vitality shots, and stuff like that. And it's like demonic imagery everywhere. There's villages full of zombies and undead dogs, and you just find gore and viscera. But then you work your way through, and you find these dark clues for where a monster is hiding.
So it's
And you have
SDGC, the game, basically. You're talking about burned out villages
Putting
and
it-
screen.
yes. I mean, it's really, I'm trying to abridge this because I don't want to go over. I have a lot more detail dropping in the impressions piece later.
Oh, Sam, time's up. Time's up,
Oh,
Sam. You went over your
That
3
was not
minutes.
very sexy,
Quick,
yeah.
That was not very
I'm-
sexy though, Jay. I've got to agree with JT. That you
Spice it up a little bit.
could have made it a little sexier, my man.
Good.
I mean, we're talking about your job here, Jay. Why don't we go ahead and move on to Jeff? Jeff, what are you playing this week, dude? Your timer starts now.
Oh God, I played lots of stuff. I played more of the Division. JT talked me into reinstalling it, so I started that up again. I'm like,
What level are
I
you?
think I'm level 10,
Okay.
so I'm getting there. Like I don't think I've seen any of the new stuff they've added, so right now it's just like the same game, but I'm not burnt out on it anymore. So the performance is a little better. It's like a lock 60 now. It's just like a chill game. Like I just play it for 30 minutes here or there when I got nothing else to really do and just need to kill some time, and I can just kind of zone out and just kill some enemies and loot some stuff. And the setting and the atmosphere are still like top notch. I don't really give a shit about the story. That's not fixed. So I've been playing that. I finished Route B in Nier, which again was
Now
fine.
you get to play the good part, right?
Yeah. Route A was fine. Route B was fine. They're fine. It's not the worst game I've ever played.
It's not the best.
it's
though.
But
It's
is it
totally,
the best
like-
game?
No,
Is it the robbed game of the year 2017?
absolutely not.
Benz will tell you.
So
Time's up.
yeah, Route B had some like hints of stuff to come that I'm hoping pay off a little bit. I hope they're not as predictable as I think they're gonna be, but we'll see. And what else? Oh, and then I played a little bit of Shadow of the Colossus, and I don't really. That's a tough game for me to talk about because it's just one of my favorite games of all time. So I don't know what else to say other than it's still awesome and it just looks a lot better. Like I don't know. I don't really have much else to offer on that, but it does look stunning. The controls are still clunky. Like I guess
I think they're
Like
better.
design.
They're better than the PS2 version at least, though, which isn't a high bar, but
yeah. I don't know how. I guess maybe they changed the button mappings. They feel the same to me. I played the PS3 HD port. I just played a couple hours of it like a few years ago. But I don't know. The horse still feels clunky. The climbing and camera still feels a little, but it doesn't hurt my enjoyment of it. I guess like everything I love about the game is still there. And then before my time's up, I got to drop my hot take and say I still think The Last Guardian's a better game.
Whoa.
Pass it off.
Oh, Jeff,
Controversial.
you know
That is-
what?
that is
You don't-
very
you don't
hot.
get
That's a
paid
hell
for
of
this
a-
podcast. You don't get paid for this podcast, but you're fired.
that is a hell of a way to end your 3 minutes, Jeff.
See, I have to play. I have to play The Last Guardian still. So and Shadow,
In my
Shadow of the
defense-
Colossus is very high up there for me. So
In my defense, I've never finished Shadow of the Colossus, right? Like I beat like 8 or 9 Colossus on PS2, roughly the same amount on PS3. So we'll see when I play all the way through and get to the ending how I feel. But that's just my hot take.
Well, we'll go ahead and move on to fuck it. Let's do JT.
okay, like Jeff, I've been playing a lot of The Division. Probably not the smartest move because I can never finish games, and that game probably will never end. as far as like levels and where you can get to. I run around and I see like a lot of people like that are like 285, 287, and I'm like 13, and they're like just one-shotting people, and I'm running. Oh, now I'm 14. Woo! Like it's I don't know. The divisions. It's been cool to go back to though because like Jeff said, it is just a chill game. You can turn it on and it's mindless. Like it's a great podcast game where I can turn on a good podcast or audiobook or something and then just like zone out.
I thought you meant
And,
like you
you
could
know.
just like get on the podcast and play the division while you're podcasting. That's what I thought you meant.
That's what I'm doing right now, but we're not
Look,
talking
that's
about
what
that.
Brendan does with the
JT,
Overwatch.
check your DMs, JT, right now.
Where?
On Twitter. That's where
Don't
DMs
worry about
are.
it.
That's
Okay.
where DMs are. Did you send him nudes? What did you send him?
I can't click. Yeah, we should wait on that.
I was just joking that we should play the division right now, Biz.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm booting it up now. So I've been playing a little bit of Rocket League. Of course, they just released their season 7 patch. So I got my season 6 wheels and had to go claim all my rewards and play my placement matches. I got really frustrated with it because I was playing competitive threes team mode without a team, so I was just me with randoms, and so that is never a good situation because I just get angry that everybody else sucks, and yeah, so it just gets frustrating. So I've been playing that Rocket League. Yeah, just a little bit of here and there. I haven't gotten back to Monster Hunter after playing it a lot after it came out. I need to. I'm missing out on some of the limited time gear, like I know I was gonna try and play the Horizon Zero Dawn mission to get the Palico gear before that went away, but I don't think I made it.
Wait, holy shit! Wait, what? It goes away?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm
goes
sure
away.
they'll bring it back, but it's like a
Oh,
limited
okay.
time launch thing where
Oh.
you have to like play the mission to craft the gear, but it's fine. I mean, it's just Palico gear. You get tons of that. But yeah, other than that, I'd say that just about does it. I haven't been playing a whole lot.
Okay. Awesome, dude. Why don't we move on to Jay? Jay, what have you been playing this week, man?
Aside from Shadow of the Colossus, which I guess I'll talk about more when we talk about the game. I want to give a personal shout out to the Adam Sandler movie Reign Over Me. I think it's the best. I think it's the best video game film ever made. It's not presented as a video game film, but aside from like the 9/11 stuff, because it was filmed, closer to 9/11, I think that Adam Sandler's character like represents that game really well.
I forgot
Like,
that he played Shadow of the Colossus in that game until you tweeted
because it's spoiler alert. It's because his family dies. The whole point Shadow of the Colossus is like he's killing like these monsters. He can like bring his like girlfriend back, and like I feel like Adam Sandler's character is trying to achieve the same thing. It's a very cheap movie to buy if you want to see Adam Sandler in a drama
playing Shadow of the Colossus.
acting role.
It's his
I've also
second greatest work. Only ceased to Switch.
Punch Drunk Love and Happy Gilmore. He's a great actor, but besides
Happy
the point-
Gilmore is a treasured classic.
It is. I've also been playing Yakuza Kiwami, or as it's called in America, Yakuza Kiwami.
Love your Yakuza games, man.
Played it as Yakuza Extreme. I
A
bought
game
it
of
for
many
$10.
titles.
It's a great game. It's just kind of like laid out the same as Zero was, because it's a remake of the first game, but I've been enjoying it a whole lot. Detail in the game I really love is that like in Yakuza 0 you couldn't save anywhere because cell phones weren't like invented back then, or they weren't like popular, so you had to go to like payphones to like save.
Okay, that's
Cell
hilarious.
It was
phone
good.
in Kiwami you have a cell
That's
phone, so
awesome.
you can
Oh,
save
yeah.
anywhere.
Best save point since typewriters and RE.
Typewriters are still the best.
But in Kiwami you can save anywhere because you have a cell phone, so like it's really convenient actually.
I want to see them one up it, so like if your phone dies, you can't save.
6, I mean 6 seems really detailed so far from what they've shown of it, so
Yeah, I was listening to Michael Huber just like rave about 6 on Easy Allies, like just some of the details and stuff. Like you're walking in alleys and you can hear like voices coming from like a window that's lit up because there's people inside there, and just like, oh, Just the atmosphere of the
And,
game sounds so good.
I've already pre-ordered the premium edition that comes with, like, the shot glasses and the ice cubes and everything. So I am excited for it.
I
You're
gotta
all
get into
in.
this series.
Dude, you're invested, man.
I really am. I don't even drink anymore, so I don't know why I'm getting the shot glasses. But in the last game I've been playing is I mispronounced this last episode. Is it Celeste?
Celeste.
Celeste. Yeah, I've been playing Celeste. It's hard as shit, but I love it, and it's a great game. And if you like platformers, you should play it.
Is it the Dark Souls of platformers?
More like the
It's the Super Meat Boy of Dark Souls.
The
Okay.
Shadow of the Colossus of Celeste.
if I had to give it a good title, it's kind of like the. It's funny, like the game doesn't advertise itself as like a Metroid kind of game, but it kind of has like Castlevania, Metroidvania kind of elements. Like you can kind of go in different rooms. I don't know, it's weird, but it's very enjoyable. I like
get
it.
those strawberries, man.
Yeah, I've been trying to get all the strawberries, but my time's up. So whoever needs to go next can go next.
That would be Brandon.
I've been playing Counter-Strike Go. That's about it. I've been back on my old shit.
Have you been on any good jailbreak servers?
I don't know what jailbreak is. I just play fucking casual.
Jailbreak's like a server where there's a team of guards and a team of prisoners, and one person on the police team gets to become the warden, and they have to order the prisoners around.
No, I've never even heard of that.
That sounds awesome.
How do you even get to those modes?
Jailbreak. I've invested 500 hours into Counter-Strike Go, and 400 of those is into jailbreak. It was really bad.
Does prop hunt still exist in CS:GO?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
So, Brandon, let me ask you this question then. Aside from Counter-Strike and Overwatch, what are you looking forward to playing?
Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2, for sure.
So you're not going to play anything but these two games till October?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you had a Switch, you could play Bayonetta 1 and 2 next week.
I have beaten both of those games several times.
But you're going to sit here and tell me that you don't want to play Bayonetta 1 and 2?
I own Bayonetta on 3 platforms already.
And they're basically just ports. They don't even look any better really. So
I've been it on 360, PC, and Wii U. It's fine.
All right. Well, if Brandon, if that's all you got, I will go ahead and take the conch shell.
I might play God of War 3.
What about PUBG? You can get back into that with us.
Yeah, I should. I haven't installed. I haven't reinstalled.
Brendan's only playing Rules of Survival on his mobile phone now.
Oh, yes.
Rules of is this?
Oh, I did. I should have mentioned that in my now playing. I played Rules of Survival, which is the PUBG clone on iPhones with all touchscreen controls, and it is a very faithful reenactment if you can handle touchscreen controls, which nobody in their right mind should. It's exactly how you imagined. It's a physical analog stick that you have to fight to get. Yeah, it's.
I played GTA 3 like that on my iPad.
Yeah, so did I. I played
still in
GTA
college,
3
and it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
I wish I wish Zach were here to talk about Thief of Seas. Not Sea of Thieves, but Thief of Seas.
Thief of Seas.
Oh man, that screenshot.
Brandon, you saw that, right?
Is it coming from ERAR?
So it's an Xbox Live Marketplace game, and Zach finished it in about 15 minutes. Brandon, do yourself a favor while I'm talking.
Yeah.
Don't even pay attention to me. Just go to.
I posted the link in our chat.
There you go, Brandon. Brandon, do yourself.
You can go right to the Microsoft Store.
I remember Zach saying he completed it, and there was
Thief of
out the
Seas.
game. He had to turn off his Xbox or close out.
Yeah,
the
he
app.
couldn't even. Yeah,
It's only 24 cents.
Brandon.
No,
Brandon,
it's usually 99 cents. The
Brandon,
sale ends.
Everybody in chat, whether it's now or later, go to YouTube and look at a video of Thief of Seas. Brandon, I can't even describe it. It's indescribable. It's like the Matrix. You have to see it for yourself.
Does anybody remember when the Xbox Live indie thing was good? Does anybody remember?
Oh yeah, dude. When there was
Minor Dig Deep.
And I made a game with zombies in it.
Yeah, that one. They used to have some really cool stuff on there, and I didn't even know
there was
that
actually I bought a lot of
still
games. From there.
existed. Is this the modern equivalent to that?
What, Thief of Seas? No, Thief of Seas.
No,
Sure.
like the I guess they're still doing like the indie platform where you can like anybody can
Yeah.
can
Oh no,
put games on there.
Clearly, Sam, you're another one who needs to go look up Thief of Seas.
Oh, I've seen it.
It's really something,
I
isn't
saw
it?
it. It's incredible.
Really something. For 24 cents, you're getting
John,
every
are you about
penny's
ready?
worth. Yeah. I'll go ahead and go. So just like the other guys, I'll save my Shadow of the Colossus talk for the actual topic. Because I've played it extensively this week. I've also been playing some Monster Hunter World, and I'll talk about Monster Hunter World because I didn't get a chance to talk about
I've
it
heard
last
nothing
week.
but amazing things about that.
Monster Hunter World is really good, but I've got some problems with it. I've got some problems
Know
with
where you're
it.
going with this.
It's not a perfect game.
It's not a personal problem, but it's kind of a personal problem. So, like, my two big hangups with the game right now are one, time limits. Now, bear in mind, I know time limits have existed in that series since the beginning. I'm not a fan of arbitrary time limits. I don't like being boxed into a corner and being pushed along a corridor by a time limit in any game. It's one reason that I couldn't gel with the Dead Rising games. I just don't like time limits. And I have lost numerous hours to that game because, the monster runs away. I can't kill it in time. It's 50 minutes gone, almost an hour. And
Get good.
Yeah, really, dude.
Well, it ties into my other problem with the game, which is during story missions. Like if you fire an SOS flare and nobody comes to help you, like you're on your own, right? The matchmaking in this game is awful. It's fucking terrible. It took Zach and I played it a launch night. It took us 23 minutes to actually bridge the fucking gap to play together, and then 18 minutes to finish the hunt. So it took us longer to actually start playing together than it did to actually finish the hunt. That and the time limits just really fucking rub me the wrong way. Aside from that, there's a lot to love about the game. It looks great. Like, yeah, it's a little faded. Some people, some people say, oh, it doesn't look all that great. I think the art direction is fantastic. I like the expeditions. I like the feeling of going out and actually hunting for the monster and studying it and learning its patterns and where it goes. So if it tries to run away, I can I know where to pop up. What's interesting is that some of the armor and like character movement remind me of Dark Souls in a way. Like I hate to bring that up, like it's nothing like Dark Souls.
If this game was called Dark Souls Wild or something, you would be going nuts.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna go fucking nuts on you in a minute. But I've got a suit of armor.
Really?
I get to hang out after the podcast. I've got a suit of armor that looks like the Elite Knight armor in Dark Souls, and I'm never fucking changing it. Like I'm just gonna upgrade that armor to the 9s. That's never coming off my body. Yeah, like I've been kind of absent from it this week simply because I've just been neat out of the Colossus and Celeste, which I'll say right now, probably got about 10 seconds. Best platforming games I've ever played. Period. Celeste is just a fucking. Celeste is just a fucking tour de force of platforming, and I love the pixelated graphics. The music, is gonna be in my fucking. What was that? Was that my time limit? Did I hit my time limit?
I was trying to do that. Was it that Starbase like ooh wow 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 or something like that? It didn't go well.
It didn't go well at all. It really didn't.
But yeah, your time's up.
Okay, my time's up. I'll shut up. I'll shut up now. So okay.
Dark Souls sucks.
Whoa, BM,
dude.
I highly agree with that statement, but I'm not going to go into that.
It was nice knowing you guys.
Do you really want to get? I mean, I'll go off on a fucking Dark Souls tangent if you guys really insist.
No, we've had many.
Jeff and I already went off on you about this.
I'll do it again.
Chat, so.
John, you know I kid.
I know. All right.
I just don't.
Let's go ahead and
SDGC lasted 101 episodes.
I know, yeah. This was it. I salute
#JT
you all.
JT was right.
Will never be the fucking end of this show. Like I will podcast by myself after you've all moved on before I #JT. All right, so
Fair.
we'll go ahead and jump into tonight's first topic. We can either talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 or Shadow of the Colossus. What would you guys rather start off?
I feel like Red Dead's not going to take us long.
Yeah, Red Dead.
So Red Dead?
Sure.
Oh
Okay.
well, first let's talk about how like GTA 5 sold what fucking 90 million copies.
90 million, yeah.
Holy shit!
And it's not even on smartphones.
After the finances
Well,
came over for 2017 last year, GTA 5 made over $500 million in revenue, which was, and it released 3 years ago. And I think that was like almost. It wasn't like more than Call of Duty, but it was almost more than any other game. I think it was third for the year.
Hey
It's
guys,
insane.
I just want to point out, I want to say hi to our friend Dan Wisenhut in chat. I have not seen him.
Welcome,
Hello.
Dan. You found us in our new home.
Yeah, we tried to get away from you.
Yeah, we tried to escape and it didn't work. Obviously, you hunted us down, so we'll have to move on to.
We shouldn't have posted so many links.
We'll have to move
Yeah.
on to Mixer now. But no, Dan, welcome, man.
It is now I had to look it up, the third best selling game of all time. It is only behind
Ridiculous.
Tetris at number 1 and Minecraft at number 2.
Absolutely fucking. And
Seriously, what do you do in Grand Theft Auto Online? Like, what is?
I don't know either. It's like Second Life with stealing
It is literally
cars.
like Second Life. Having
Okay.
played it with some people who like took me through and showed me their apartments and their skyscrapers and their 50
Oh my
custom
God.
vehicles that all cost $50 million in game currency, and I'm just
And
like,
it's like it takes a long time to
Probably
grind
I
out.
need to go into defense mode here because like I hear this a lot. So yes, in Grand Theft Auto Online, you can do that shit and just like fuck around and make your own fun. And if that's not for you, but there is a lot of content in there, whether you like it or not. There's a ton of modes they've added. There's races. You can do these crazy races that are kind of like the Hot Wheels expansion from Forza Horizon. Like not as good,
Okay.
obviously, but like there's like
Played
these
those.
crazy. It makes no sense, right? There's just these ramps and jumps in the middle of the sky, and you can like race through, and it's just hilarious fucking around. But the heists are very good. Like there's actually an escalating series of heists that can take you like 10 or 15 hours.
They're like
that are-
raids.
Well, they're
Yeah.
like there's like 3 of them though, right?
Yeah, but they all have. There's like setup missions where you have to scope out places, then steal vehicles, and like they're very elaborate, and they are very good and fun to complete with a group of friends, and they have really good payouts that can get you some good stuff.
if you
and I
have
think
friends to play with, there's a bunch of good stuff to do.
Here's the
Yeah,
real.
and then-
Jeff, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was gonna say, and that's I think the crux is I've never played GTA Online without friends, and I'm sure it's every bit as awful as everyone thinks it. It's being a random session, people just running you over constantly. But with friends, like just in a closed session, just the group of you, it is so fucking fun.
Well, and
I've
here-
tried playing it with like random people, and it's a miserable experience.
yeah, I tell you what. Here's the hottest take right now. Grand Theft Auto 5 isn't it?
You're fucking
I
what?
actually agree with you,
What-
John.
this
That's
is
why
so
I
much
think
worse
it's-
than
I agree
anything
with that.
else.
No, I agree with that. Like the mechanics are
It
Really?
plays like butt. It plays like
You
butt.
can't-
P- have you played it on PC?
like the shooting and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just it's a slog.
Have you? Whatever.
It's
Yeah.
on
It
top of
plays
the
like-
guest list and not GTA 5.
GTA 5 plays like butt.
No,
It
it
play-
absolutely
it
does
plays
not.
Okay, the
But-
driving is excellent.
The driving is
The
fine.
driving, okay, the
Terrible.
driving is that's the best part. Like
So if you want to know, the running is
No,
wonky.
GTA 4's driving. is
GTA
terrible.
4 is better though. Yeah, the driving.
You're
physics
fucking
and
high.
And the damage
I'm not-
modeling.
Are you kidding me?
GTA 4 feels like shit to play these days.
I played
What's
1
the-
hour
what's the-
GTA
what's
4.
The best
Okay.
thing you can do is boot up GTA 4, get an ambulance, and go out on the runway and do those little ramps and see the damage modeling.
I just
wanna
on
say-
Right now, I
can't
feel
It's
like
fun for like what,
podcast.
5
They just
minutes?
fucking can't.
That's because that's like if I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto, do anyways is get a car and drive it and jump it somewhere. Like
Right.
there's nothing else to do.
right now I feel
GTA
like
4,
Willem
you can walk
Dafoe
inside
in-
clucking chicken, and GTA 5 you cannot. Therefore, it's a better game.
Wow.
But we'll
You
go
can
ahead
walk
and
inside of a fast food restaurant.
now
Holy
you
shit.
guys know how I feel every time somebody dumps on Dark Souls.
We got so far off track.
But so yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to Red Dead Redemption 2. So some rumors dropped about Red Dead Redemption 2 earlier. Was also with a new release date. October 26, 2018 is the release date for. I feel really sorry for any game that is releasing within.
Except for Battlefield.
Except for
and Call of
Battlefield
Duty.
or like Call of
Yeah,
Duty,
like Call of Duty, Battlefield. Like if there's a Star Wars game, those are fine. Yeah. Fuck.
anything else, get the fuck out of the way.
Pretty much.
And so a leak, a leak which has I don't think been verified yet, includes information on potential game modes, activities, and as far as online play is concerned, the most fascinating new.
Oh no way! I've never seen one of those.
Surprise!
Brand new, never before seen game mode.
breaking ground.
Battle Royale.
Rockstar is
Here's
innovating.
why Red Dead got delayed, everybody.
Rockstar is innovating.
Sorry to interrupt, John. I like to cite the sources for these things just because I'm kind of
Yeah, sure, no problem.
weird about that. So I just looked it up. It if anyone's wondering, the source for the leak comes from trustedreviews.com. I am not familiar with them, so you guys can use your own judgment to decide.
I'm not familiar with
how
them.
much stock you want to put in this. They just say Trusted Reviews has received a number of alleged development notes on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
and they
and
just go on.
If anything, Grand Theft
Familiar
Auto
with them?
5
I
would
would
be
like to
better
add something,
suited
though.
for Battle Royale.
They put in
I have a
the
quick
closest thing it's
question.
ever gonna get already.
so
What
So
is
is
that?
this battle royale like? Is it gonna be based on the film battle royale, or
Battle-
is there like a game
the
called battle
Japanese
royale?
So it's just clearly just like PUBG and Fortnite. Other game modes include
Like those
revive,
games.
and survive, where two teams try to take each other down while reviving their. And money grab, which asks players to collect and stack gold.
Can I point out how hilarious it is that there's a online Rockstar product called Money Grab?
I hope
I read that and I was like, oh.
I hope they're self-aware with that. As is the case
No,
with
they're
Rockstar
not.
games, players will still be able to roam an open world that is said to be even more alive than previous titles. For example, store owners will decorate their storefronts at dawn and shut them down at like GTA's apartments. Red Dead Redemption 2 players will be able to purchase as well as buy gear and equipment in the open world. There will also be activities such as gold mining, fishing, herding, and weapons challenges. And if that weren't enough, Trusted Reviews reports that Red Dead Redemption 2 will come with a companion app.
Poker.
Okay. Poker.
It's
I
actually
imagine that
pretty
in a
cool.
fucking cowboy game.
Poker? Do you poke
You guys
people?
kick the conversation off. I'm gonna jump over here and grab an eye drop real quick. Jay, you want to lead the conversation for a minute?
So personally, I'm not surprised that Rockstar is chasing the battle royale game formula. As we see with GTA 5, their online services for that game have been very successful, and it seems like they're taking the same approach with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, for sure. It's, I mean,
So-
100% going to be a games as a service supported.
I mean, like, there's
title.
gonna be there's gonna be a
100%.
single player component. People are going to beat it. People will bitch that there's no more single player content coming out because it's all going to be online. I mean, game wise, for like people who like want the single player only content, it's gonna be very disappointing. But for the people experience and for Rockstar and Take Two, like it's gonna be awesome because they're gonna be making so much fucking money off of it, and they know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I will say I do not expect Red Dead 2 to have the legs that GTA 5 has had, simply because, and that's not saying much, simply because there's only so much you can do in an Old West setting.
Exactly.
You can't have, planes and nuclear bombs and high-rise apartments.
Like
you can have zombies though.
Yeah, I was
kind
gonna
of
Don't get me wrong, it's going to have a tail. It's going to have a long, very, very, very healthy, very, very lucrative, put them in even more in the black than they were type payroll, but it's not going to have the tail that GTA 5 did. It can't.
Well, and I was kind of laughing when they talked about the tents as like a replacement for the apartments. I'm like, the apartments are like so flashy, and you got like these 20-car garages and like people I'm like, just picturing people like spending real money on like these shark cards to like deck out their tents. I'm like, I don't know if that.
Yo, dude, come check out my TP.
I was just gonna say the same.
Come check out my plantation.
Yeah, like, and you're not buying like like a Bugatti or like a Lambo type car, right? Like, what are
buying
you?
horse saddles?
Yo, I just get dog.
20 horses, 5 of them Mustangs.
I just got this motherfucking. I just got this epic raccoon skin. Man, you're gonna come look at this shit. I grinded for this for weeks. This raccoon skin I got. Like, I don't know.
Check out my saddles made out of dinosaur eggs.
Like, I heard about this battle royale mode, and I immediately thought to myself, okay, in a game about cowboys, how does it even? In Fortnite, you're on a bus attached to like a hot air balloon.
The party bus.
Like on Red Dead Redemption, what are you, like on a fucking stagecoach? Like attached
100%
stage.
You start out just like by punching each other.
Cowboys wake up with a hangover.
Cowboys wake up with how do we get here, boys? Like what? Just like a
guys. I have a quick prediction.
Please,
Maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't take the Assassin's Creed route, and it's actually set in the present day time, but you go back in time to the cowboy days.
That would be the dumbest thing.
Westworld.
The battle royale, like you
That
can get into like
that
your
would-
stations.
That would be
It's actually Back to the Future Part 3, the game.
I do my
It's the big
killing.
reveal.
I do my killing before breakfast.
Doc and Marty just show up at the end.
Like I don't know. Like I mean, okay, so I missed the very beginning of this conversation, but I'll ask: did anybody indicate whether or not they're excited about this? Like, does anybody
I mean,
care?
it's a leak. Like, we don't even know if it's true.
Let's say if it's true. Let's just
okay.
play devil's advocate and pretend it's true. Like, are we excited about this?
For
Anybody?
Battle Royale, I'm not. Like, I feel like vehicles are such a big part of why I like PUBG. They get rid of the tediousness of crossing those big spaces, and it's exciting when you find one. I guess horses help, but unless the shooting is a lot better. I mean, I don't hate the shooting as much as some of you guys did apparently in GTA 5, but in Red Dead, I don't think it's particularly strong. And just for a game that's about killing other people with guns, I don't know. I would think they'd have to polish that stuff a lot for it to actually have my interest.
I'll sort of piggyback that. It's just going to depend on how fun it is, how refined it is, how good it feels to shoot, how unpredictable the gameplay can be. Because for me, you know, apart from the vehicles, I would agree that PUBG is about the unpredictability. The fact that every match is almost like a story, whether it's you going in alone or in a duo or a squad, you're making your own little story, making the rounds, trying to survive moment to moment. If you can do that in Red Dead 2's Battle Royale mode, then sure, I can see myself enjoying it.
So, okay, so I'll take it a step further, right? Like, I've played a little bit of PUBG. Obviously, I think we can all probably agree. There's more weapons. You can get in cars.
Shooting
motorcycles,
doesn't feel
jeeps.
like shit.
Yeah, so
I actually prefer rules of survival.
but I guess
Continue, John. Continue.
well, no,
Game-
no. So
Game
I was
of the
gonna,
year 2018.
I was gonna say like, I said long ago that this is going to be kind of like the World of Warcraft MMO situation with PUBG, right? The market can sustain probably two of these. Right, like Fortnite is doing very well. It's not doing.
The rapper Portbag for Fortnite on the Switch.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Chance the Rapper. Like I mean, right now, the last time I checked, which is just the other day, there were 6,659 people. Or the next closest game had 1,000. So I mean, Fortnite is all over the place. So these two games are very. I don't think the battle royale ecosystem, and yeah, we're living in a fucking world now where there's a battle royale ecosystem, but I don't feel
It's
like I don't
way
feel
better than a MOBA ecosystem.
yeah, I'll agree, but I don't feel like that sphere is big enough to shove a third party in. But
So,
maybe,
John,
go ahead.
I would counter that and say with the games you mentioned, PUBG and Fortnite, I would define those as battle royale games, and they are defined by that mode because that's all they are. Whereas Red Dead Redemption 2 Online is going to be Red Dead Redemption 2 Online with a battle royale mode, but there will be people playing that regardless of what modes are in that, with or without that mode. There's a huge GTA Online community that's ready to jump to this just because it's Rockstar. And you could see some evidence of it if you guys watch Daniel Dyer's no-clip video on one of the GTA Online gangs. And these people are like hardcore, and they're just going to move to whatever product Rockstar makes next, and they don't really care what the setting is, and they don't really care what the modes are. So I think even if the Battle Royale now doesn't like take off or sustain itself the way Fortnite or PUBG did, I don't think that's really going to impact the people that are playing this game online. I think it'll be other elements that make or break that.
Does somebody want to bounce off that?
Yeah, I mean, people buy Rockstar games, and some people only buy Rockstar games, and that's all they play.
Yeah,
So
it's
if
like the
they
Madden.
release another game, because Rockstar hasn't released like an actual game since GTA 5 in 2013, so it's been like 5 years now. When Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, it'll be almost 9 years. Nonetheless,
So
just my concerns, and these concerns already been said, is that I don't know if I feel like the online will be alive for a while, but I don't know if it's gonna be like as active as it's been like as long, just because of the appeal. Like as people have already said, in GTA 5, you can buy apartments, you can buy cars. Like what
Well, I mean,
what
let's
can
be
you spend
real. Like,
what can you spend your money on?
yeah, even just like,
Yeah,
I mean, Red Dead
exactly.
Redemption 2 is not going to ship 90 million copies, right? Like, let's be realistic here.
I mean, it's gonna sell very well, and it's gonna make them a good amount of money. But like, I feel like it's gonna have like an active player base for like 2-3 years. I don't know beyond 3 years.
It's going to do insanely well, but not compared to the juggernaut that is GTA 5. GTA 5
Oh,
has a
and
tail that nothing
Like,
else can hope to match.
what did Red Dead Redemption sell compared to GTA 4? I'd be curious to hear those numbers. Because I know GTA 4 was huge and Red Dead Redemption sold very well. I think it sold like 14 to 15 million. But I don't.
As of February 2017, Red Dead Redemption sold 15 million copies.
That's a
Okay.
shitload.
Yeah,
That's
but what did
well, that's
GTA 4 sell before that?
Remember 2014, the game has shipped 45 million copies.
So, you know, GTA is just a bigger
Actually,
brand.
that's
I think.
GTA 5.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's GTA 5. I looked up GTA 4. Just give me GTA 5
Or-
sales.
I'm not seeing. Come on. All I have is the day one sales, and it sold 3.6 million on day one.
Yeah, I mean, we can circle back to that. I was just curious, like, to use that as like, okay, going from Grand Theft Auto 4 and seeing if all that hype from that translated to sales for Red Dead Redemption, or if there's still kind of two distinct properties with different ceilings for their markets, I guess.
so like, here's my thing. I totally believe this rumor, right?
28
I-
million. There
I-
we go. That's GTA 4. Sorry, I had to interject that really quick.
that's fine,
GTA
that's
4
fine.
sold 28 million copies.
I completely
So about twice.
I completely believe that there's going to be a
Yeah, why wouldn't there be?
and it's probably the reason that the game is one of the reasons that the game is being delayed. To get that battle. I mean honestly, look at what yeah, people are gonna want to try to fucking shoehorn some kind of battle. I can tell you right now that I am going to pick up Red Dead Redemption 2 free for the characters. I could give a shit about a battle royale mode.
Yes, you will.
I might try it, but
Yes,
I'm not
you
gonna.
will.
I'm not gonna. You know, I'm not hours and hours to it. Like some people.
Have
do
you seen how
PUBG.
big Fortnite has gotten now?
It's huge.
actually
Fortnite's
it's
big.
it's stupid at this point. Like,
It's
I don't
ridiculous.
get it,
that
but I
game
haven't
blew the
played
fuck
it,
up
so.
in the biggest way.
Which is ridiculous
It's
because
like the most floaty, mechanic-y game.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
thought
great.
it felt like shit to play, so I
it's
just
not
couldn't
great.
play
But
it.
I mean, but for people on PS4, that's their choice. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's
No,
literally
so-
it's PUBG for people who can't play PUBG. Like,
Yeah.
But
so-
no, it's still doing insane numbers on PC, where there's many other options available.
What?
It's-
So
It's
just
huge
so we
on
can like
PC.
end this topic.
Oh.
Do you think these leaks, if they are true, will help Red Dead Redemption 2 sales in the long run?
What? Not
that's-
much.
I don't,
Somewhat.
dude. I don't think they need the help. I don't think they're gonna need the help.
No, like I think word of mouth and like just word of mouth and reviews will determine. Like, it's already going to sell lots regardless of those two things, but good word of mouth and good reviews will make it do even better.
But I mean, it's a
Yeah.
Rockstar game. That's what's gonna sell it. It's.
And
I think everyone here agrees on that.
Before we move on, I just want to say one more thing. I don't think I said it on the podcast yet. I just want to gauge the feeling. I'm a little worried about Red Dead Redemption 2. And like I know it's Rockstar, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But obviously we saw like those emails or whatever leaked a few years ago, and they had
They
some
need
of
the Benz.
They need the
They
Benz.
do, I think they do need the Benz. Just reading about some of the shape those projects were in before they stepped in, and without that, I just, not to say they don't have people that can step up and fill that role. I'm just a little nervous and just trying. The pressure living up to the legacy of that first game. GTA is a little bit different because they're all so different. But just the nature of this game, I'm a little concerned that it might not be what. I mean, no, by no means I think it's going to be a bad game. I don't know if it's going to be 10s out of 10s.
And then we should probably move on. let's have that conversation after E3.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand
idea,
where you're
yeah.
coming from, but we don't have enough
We haven't
concrete
seen
information.
anything,
Yeah,
right?
I really didn't
Let's
like
wait
the
until
first
E3.
evolution. I don't really care about the second one all that much. The leaks really don't. Whatever. It's on sale. That's all that matters.
Yep. I think I. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to let's talk about Shadow of the Colossus. So obviously, Blue Point released a full remake from the ground up of Shadow of the Colossus, a classic PS2 title that sold quite a bit less than it deserved. I've been playing it a lot this week. I streamed it for and
Just up on YouTube now, by
yep,
the way.
Yep. That is currently up on YouTube. And I'll tell you what, it is, playing this game with its newly renovated visual has been nothing short of amazing. I have memories of playing this game now I'm playing it in HDR and 60 frames a second, and it's just what a fucking experience. And it's like it looks so good. It's like playing it again for the first. But I wanted to start with Sam, who is somebody who never played the PS2 original. And with Shadow of the Colossus so far, I think you said you're on the 10th.
Yeah, I literally just beat the 10th Colossus. That was the last thing I did before saving.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so I'll try to go chronologically, I guess. That's probably the best way to do it. First off, it's gorgeous. There's just no getting around that. I mean, even on the base PS4, it looks really, really good. The textures look good. The lighting is fantastic. It's very high quality. I totally, because I looked up some footage after beating a few Colossi of like the PS2 version and the PS3 remaster, and I can totally understand what you mean by this is the way it always needed to look. Because, I mean, let's get around it. It looked ugly. Let's just call it for what it is. It looks fantastic, smooth, even, again, 30 frames on the base PS4. It's a very mysterious, out of context for what's going on, which at first I thought was a bad thing. I'll admit, because at first I was like, why do I care about healing this girlfriend / wife / whatever? I don't really know who she is. I don't know what's going on. But then I realized that's the point. The point is that you're not supposed to know whether or not you're supposed to empathize with Wanda or not. You're trying to gauge him based off of your very limited reactions and things like that. And so then came the Colossi themselves, which, particularly the third one. I don't remember the name, but the third one in particular was just incredible to behold. Each one has been unique and memorable. Each one feels more like a giant puzzle than a boss fight. The scale really can't be overstated. I do have a couple of small complaints, however. And obviously these could change. Well, one of them could change. One of them is not going to change. One of them could change by the end of the game, obviously. But the one that isn't going to change is that Aggro is incredibly well named because he's incredibly aggravating to control.
Isn't it Argo? Or is it
it's
aggro? Or
it's
is it
aggro. It's aggro. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
aggro. Yeah.
He's almost as bad as Roach.
Looked it up to verify. No, he's worse. He is worse. I have been galloping in a field, full steam ahead, chasing the beam of light emanating from the sword, and then all of a sudden he'll just stop. And I look down. There's like a small rock. He won't go around it. And then he'll get stuck when I'm trying to navigate through a small passageway. He's hurled me into a lake accidentally because I didn't pull back on the reins in time. On the 10th Colossus, and the nonsense that goes on in that fight, and when you have to beat him using aggro on horseback, it's ridiculous. So that's been a severe, the least, because I knew it wouldn't be incredible given it was a PS2 remake controls, but I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but you'd figure they'd tighten that up a little bit.
It's bad. It's really, really bad, and I'm trying to just press through and move on. The other thing, and this could very well change by the end of the game, world feels empty.
And yeah.
A bad thing.
No, by design, very much by design.
So Sam,
not
Sam,
big.
let me go and tell you. By the time you finish it, you'll understand.
Maybe that's one thing I need to hold my opinion on until
It's not an
I actually
open world
finish the
game.
Yeah.
No, I
it's-
know it's not an open world game. It's just it's got incredible scope.
It's an
So
adventure game. Yeah.
You
seeing
will,
that it's just
when you finish the game, you'll say, "Oh, okay, I get it."
yeah, because I do have some questions with the story right now, and it's like it could be really good or it might be a disappointment based off of how things play out. But I'll hold my opinion on that. So overall, in that case, aggravations aside, it's been a fantastic journey.
I would say that his full name is Aggravation.
Please be sorry.
Truly awful. Not good. Not
Yeah,
good.
it's been funny like reading people's like for people who are playing the first time like hearing their complaints because it's kind of like what Sam said about like aggro. It's like this horse doesn't always do what I tell it to do, but like I feel like that's the point. It's like maybe aggro knows something that you don't know,
So
and they're trying to like prevent you from like like achieving what you're trying to achieve.
so Jay, to kind of springboard off of that, Wade actually said back in one of the biggest criticisms of the game was that aggro just would not do. And somebody asked him about it, and he said, "Well, horses in real life don't always do what you want them to do."
Yeah.
Which to me, I was like, okay, like that. I get it, but that's like saying, oh, the fog in Superman 64 was kryptonite fog. Design, and I'm gonna have to agree with Sam. I think aggro could probably control better. Whenever I'm going off, whenever I'm galloping across a bridge, I go purposely very slow. But the game itself, to me, like I don't know, like I want somebody else to take on it. Like I'll give my opinions on it in a minute.
I guess I can
Yeah, go
start
ahead.
going.
Yeah,
I
please.
started. This is my second time playing Shadow Colossus. The first time I played it was on a PlayStation 3 back in 2014, so it's been about 4 years. This game is absolutely beautiful. This is a game that I know a lot of people consider art, and that's for many people who don't consider video games art. They're like, this game is art. Like, you need to play this. I guess I like but it's been really fun like reading like people's opinions or people's like complaints for like the first time they're playing it. It's like, oh, the camera's bad, or oh, the climbing's bad, or oh, I don't like the way aggro like moves. It's like, why didn't they fix this in the remaster slash remake slash whatever they're calling it, because referring to as. But to me, the thing is like Shadow of the Colossus is like a painting, and you can't really fix the camera or the movement or the way aggro moves, because if you adjust that, like, you ruin the whole thing. It's kind of like if I took the Mona Lisa and I decided to change her skin color, or if I took the creation of Adam and Eve, get like a 3D model, and like you can like rotate around it. It's just like in the game, but I feel like that's also the philosophy of the game is it's not supposed to be perfect. Those imperfections are tell you as the player something about the world that you're in.
So for me, Sam, that is one of the most compelling. Um, it's one of the reasons I love Dark Souls, right? Like I'll just use Dark Souls as an example. You guys will understand in a minute. So when you first, when you fire up Dark Souls and you walk into the Undead Burg, dead, and you think to yourself, what the fuck happened? And I get that same feeling when I walk out of the temple for the first time into the world of Shadow of the Colossus, and there's just it's Colossi. And as I'm riding around, and again, this is the first time I'm ever playing, but I'm like, what happened here? And excuse me, I love that sense of mystery that keeps pulling me forward. First, when you're climbing up that series of ledges and you see your first Colossus, and it doesn't attack you. You have to get its attention, and right off the bat, I started asking myself questions the first time I played it. hurting me. It doesn't seem hostile. So what do I have to attack it? But Shadow of the Colossus to me is of the reason because it encapsulates for me that sense of wonder and awe and hope that I look for in a game. I don't have a particularly easy job, and when I come home, capture my imagination and make me feel. That's what Shadow of the Colossus does for me. Got that sense of allure and that otherworldly feel to it that is incredibly compelling to me, if that makes any sense to you. And to see it now, to see what Blue Point has done in remaking this thing from the ground. Colossus, and you're grabbing onto its hair, and this time you can see each little individual. You can really feel it this time as it's trying to shake you off, back and forth. And yeah, I mean, I am completely overwhelmed, and I have fallen in love with the game. And had you asked me at this time last year, would I be playing a full-on remake of Shadow of the Colossus, I would have laughed at you and called you an idiot. But not only is it here, it is apparently selling very well, and so I am so glad that there's a whole new generation buying and experiencing this game the way it deserved, the way it always deserved, and that to me is just incredibly special.
Yeah, this is definitely the definite way to play this game. Yeah, the modern control scheme really helps out, I think.
Jeff, what about you, man?
Yeah, like I don't really know what to say that you guys didn't say already. Like to add, I get it's a weird game. Like I get people saying the world feels empty. Again, I've never completely finished the game, so I feel like I have to kind of bite somewhat. Like I don't feel like I have fully valid opinions on it yet. But just from the time I have spent with it, I think the lack of animals or people in the world just kind of adds to the atmosphere. It's really just you against these colossi. There's nothing else in between. Even the complete lack of music or there's brief sound effects, I guess, here and there, but just when you're riding through, it's just all you hear is just your horse trotting across the land, and that's it.
You're not looking for side quests or
Yeah.
anything. You're just going through the world, and all there really is the world and the Colossus.
And that's my kind of beef with not to say no one can have these opinions, but I heard the same thing about Metal Gear Solid 5 where people, well, the world's so empty. I'm like, not every game is about exploring the world and finding quests and NPCs and animals. Like the point of Metal Gear Solid 5's world is to give you a sandbox to complete missions and use the gadgets and gameplay maneuvers at your disposal. It's not to actually build out the lore. And the point of the world in Shadow of the Colossus is to give you a huge environment to explore and find these colossi, and I'm sure plays into the story as well. I just can't speak to that fully yet. So it's not always one-to-one, and not every world is created with the same intent. And that's just how I feel about that. As for the game, like I mentioned some of my issues with the controls earlier, but I don't really think they hurt my enjoyment of it. And it's just, yeah, when you're climbing on these huge things and the camera just kind of pans out in a certain way, it's just unlike anything else I've ever played. To touch on like the animations and like the detail in some of the class that you guys talked about, there's been a lot of articles online, and even one of our friends of the show, Susan, kind of mentioned it. Like there's a feeling of guilt some people have killing these creatures that most of us don't remember that topic coming up as much. Of course, social media didn't exist really in the PS2 days. The online, we just didn't communicate in the same way. So maybe people did have these thoughts and way to express them.
Yeah, I remember. I definitely remember hearing that back in
Mhm.
12 years ago or whatever it was, 13 years
But
ago.
I do think the realism of it, and as well like Monster Hunter, just gives a little bit more empathy for people to these creatures, and I think that's where some of that's coming from, and I think it's totally valid to feel that way.
So Jeff, I've
And
actually. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I feel like that's why I appreciate the emptiness of the world more. It's, the developers have made it easy for you if you just want to find the next Colossus and not explore, you can go ahead and raise up your sword to find the next Colossus. But like they've also presented like this world that you can just ride your horse around in and kind of like or like try to discover like what happened and why the world's so empty. But to me, like the lack of people or animals in the world like truly helps the game out because you're playing a teenager or essentially a teenager in this game or a young adult, and this teenager or young adult so in love with this girl that she's died, except the fact that like death is a part of life. So he takes on whatever quest he has to do to bring her back to life. So but he's blinded by love. He goes and kills these monsters and he has no idea what their purpose is or what they were beforehand or or anything. But there's
He
no one
doesn't care.
there's
He doesn't
no one
care.
there to tell him to like stop, except that she's died. Like, there's no one there to do that. And I feel like that's why like I appreciate Argo's like sometimes he doesn't want to go because maybe Argo is or aggro, like maybe the horse knows like what's going to like this. Like you can't force this.
Well, and what else is interesting, Jay, is that if you put yourself in the shoe, and like you said, he's Mono, Princess Mono, and he loves her. He's in love with her. He wants her. He wants her to come back. And one of the things that is really compelling, running around killing these what appear to be full, lumbering creatures. Would I do that if something happened to my wife? Good. And so, people paint Wander as the borderline selfish character, but I think it goes deeper than that. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense at all?
It does. It does.
Makes sense.
I actually have a question for Jeff. Jeff, I'm very curious. You said that you still like The Last Guardian more than The Shadow of the Colossus, and that's completely valid opinion. I was just wondering why.
I mean, I understand I have unique taste in games. I play them mostly for story. I get really attached to relationships and characters in games. That's often what puts me over the edge. That's why The Last of Us and Final Fantasy VII are some of my favorite games because I just love those characters so much. And I think it's just by design, Shadow of the Colossus is a colder game. And in The Last Guardian, I was just completely sold on Trico and the relationship between him and the boy. And that alone is what did it for me. I'm not saying it's better from a gameplay design perspective or an art perspective. That's just where I'm coming at it from. I was just kind of taking a little pot shot there. They're both great games in my opinion. Just at the end of The Last Guardian, I was an emotional wreck, and I highly doubt I will feel that way when I finish Shadow of the Colossus. But I'm giving it, a shot with an open mind.
Yeah, Jeff, you'll have to come back on the podcast and.
I am
definitely
always
have to.
happy to eat crow when it's required.
All right. So, do you mind if I ask everyone here a closing question and we
Please.
can move on to our next topic?
Please.
The Colossus remake or remaster or whatever you want to refer to it as, does this raise the standard of remasters and remakes from this point on?
Remakes, yeah.
I mean, if we're just talking strictly remakes, Jay, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's important to.
We have seen a remake like this before of like the Crash trilogy, which was absolutely terrible, but that's not the time or place to discuss
Oh
this.
my god.
But the standard of remakes is like there's a way to improve on the aesthetic of the game, but retaining the gameplay fundamentals at the same time. And Shadow of the Colossus has done that perfectly.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's important to differentiate. I think most people here know the difference, but in case people don't, like a remaster versus a remake, right? Like a remaster is typically just upping the resolution, which usually isn't a lot of work. Maybe there's some optimization done to get it to run well. touching up textures, just little. It's like a little extra coat of paint. Whereas a remake is a huge process and much more complex. And I just don't want to see remasters be like dismissed as, oh well, it's they didn't even remake, so why'd they even bother? Because I get it in some cases, especially, I mean, this is a PS2 game, right? But for a lot of last gen games, a remaster makes more sense. They don't necessarily need to be remade. They have really good assets that just never made it into the final game because the hardware couldn't handle it. So I just want to be clear there. But I do think in terms of remakes, I have not seen very many on the level of this one.
And the only reason why I was like remake or remaster is because I know when the Crash trilogy was announced, they referred to it as a remaster, though it clearly is a remake.
Yeah, like that's
And I think
bizarre.
when Shadow of the Colossus
Yeah.
was announced, it was referred to as a remaster as well, though it's clearly a remake.
So, and like, you know what? Getting back to your question, I think it all depends on the game, right? Because I don't think anybody here would argue that Shadow of the Colossus. So naturally, everybody here is going to say, yeah, it's a better remake. I do think that, I mean, we all know. I mean, look at what Blue Point did. Blue Point, correct me if I'm wrong, they did the remaster.
No, they didn't
Naughty-
do Last of Us.
They didn't
Naughty
do Last
Dog
of Us?
did Last of Us.
Naughty
yeah.
Dog.
They
Okay,
did do
okay.
Uncharted.
They did do
yeah.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
they did Uncharted, which was great.
They
I mean,
did Titanfall 360.
Yeah, I mean, they're masters of.
Well, they
of
did.
this
They
stuff.
did Shadow of the Colossus PS3.
They're really
Years ago.
fucking talented at what they do.
Yeah, remaster and shit.
and-
Yeah, they're the best.
Apparently, they're working on another remake right now, and
I hope they are.
they no they are, and they haven't said what it is. My money's on Ico.
They already
Um,
did.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Metal Gear Solid.
I just don't think
They
like
make,
They did the
Tumba.
MGS HD trilogy, didn't they?
I mean, is there
Yeah.
a game that you guys would like to see them remake?
there's lots.
Demon Souls.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Ooh,
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
I was kind of
Tumba.
miffed when they announced the Dark Souls remaster because I understand not every like the fact is Dark Souls 2 and 3 are available on current gen. Dark Souls 2 and 3 are available on PC. Even Dark Souls 1, as horrible port of it is as it is available on PC. You can max that out. You can play it with mods. Demon Souls is trapped on PlayStation 3, and that just drives me insane.
But now, Jeff,
My-
I can take Dark Souls wherever I go.
Which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy to have a Dark Souls remaster. But the reality is, Demon Souls would have been the more deserving game,
Yeah, but
simply
Dark
because
Souls
it's
is
the
the
last
better
one that
game.
has been
Dark Souls is
preserved.
the better game.
I'm gonna deny that, yes, but Demon Souls is still something special that needs to be preserved.
All right, we're getting
Yeah.
too we're getting too far.
Mic
off.
drop moment right here.
Oh, no.
Resistance Trilogy Collection.
I would actually
remake.
dig that. I would actually dig a I'm surremastered. Or
You could just do the third one, and I'd be okay with
or
that.
you know what, Infamous.
We
2.
need the second one because
If
we need
Blue
the co-op.
Point's gonna remake something,
Hmm.
remaster or remake Infamous 2 because I fucking love that.
Eh.
I don't like the Infamous games.
Resistance needs the you have Infamous games on PS4. There's no Resistance outside of PS3.
Does Sony even have like an actual good single player campaign on PS4?
No,
Like,
but you know,
I
but,
mean,
you know,
it's first-person
Spider-Man is
shooter,
coming
sorry.
Oh,
soon.
first person shooter. No, Killzone was a dud.
That's their only first-person shooter game, right? I
No
think they
problem, it's a
need.
first-person shooter.
If only they could do a Haze.
Oh man,
Haze
we can get some
remaster.
Haze going. Oh shit,
Haze
game.
is a
Haze is a
gaming
fucking
to me is a
tragedy.
religion.
Haze is a fucking tragedy.
There was some big Sony news.
That
This
Haze
past
was awesome.
week.
I actually really
the
liked it.
game is just as bad as the box art was. But anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to our final topic of the night. Kaz Hirai, who has left Sony. I've got the story from Kotaku right here. This April,
Ridge
Kaz.
Racer.
I'm trying to read the story, JT, and I can't read the story if you interrupt me.
Very important story.
Very important story. This is probably the most important story you'll hear. This
I'm sorry.
April, Kaz Hirai will step down as Sony CEO. And the management shuffle takes place April 1st, when the Japanese financial year begins. What if this turns out to be some all elaborate? And there was a official release with a comment from Cat. Ever since my appointment as president and CEO in April 2012, I've stated that my mission is to ensure Sony continues. To this end, I have dedicated myself to transforming the company and enhancing. So basically, what he's saying is I came, I did what I needed to do, and now I'm leaving. Content creators, other journalists, thinks the company's in trouble and he's leaving. Of course, we've heard this. We heard it when Adam Boyes left. I wanted to see what you guys thought about why he's leaving. Gone now. He's leaving. So I wanted, and we'll start with Sam. I wanted to see Sam. Sam, why don't you kick us off? And what do you think this means, if anything, for Sony?
Okay, well, just a really quick note first. We're always going to love him for his 2006 E3 memes. Let's just get over that fact right now.
Yeah,
Ridge Racer, $599 US, giant enemy crabs. It's great stuff. Beautiful. It's the stuff of legends. But that being said, we really do need to remember him as the man who turned Sony around. From a sinking ship into being highly profitable, a much smaller company. I mean, they slashed quite a few divisions.
But they needed to.
Yeah, they needed to. They reduced quite a few divisions. The TV business is profitable again. They got rid of the Vio computers, the smartphones. That's all gone, and they have their focus now. So it makes sense for him to leave because he's done what he can. You know, he has Sony where it needs to be for now. And I don't think there's any vast conspiracy. Like, let me just get that out of the way right now. He's not leaving because he thinks the company's in trouble. He's leaving because he's like, oh God, I can rest. My work is done. Let me just retire and get out of here before something happens and I have to fix that. That's what he's doing.
I'll tell you what. Even though the PlayStation 4 has been killing it in sales,
it wasn't hyperbole. I mean, rightfully so. They were on the red.
I'm not going to sit here and say that they were on the verge of bankruptcy, but they were also weren't slashing costs and selling those. And I think actually there's a rumor going around that they're going to sell Sony pictures, which I think is smart.
That's the rumor.
Smart because I mean, dude,
you need to.
They
as much as I don't want to see a monopoly in that industry, which we are dangerously close to already.
Well, I mean, did you guys know that they the main chunk of their Sony's revenue is not from PlayStation?
That's division.
Their insurance, Sony Insurance, makes more money.
I mean, it makes sense. Insurance is such a global industry, right? Like, I mean, gaming, movies, they're still as big as they are and as much money as they make. They still serve specific audiences, right? I just wanted to point out, I was looking up because I wanted to make sure, but Kaz and a lot of other execs, when things were really bad, they took pay cuts, 50% pay cuts in 2014, just to prevent the company from taking another huge loss 50% in 5 years.
I didn't realize it was that much. Shit.
That's it. Yeah, it was a good 50% chunk.
50% of a giant paycheck, but nonetheless, it was 50%.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
It's unheard of.
I mean,
very respected move.
How long?
I want to say something really quick.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, how long have they been back in the black now?
I want to say roughly 1.5 to 2 years, maybe.
I want to say more than 2 years. I think it was not long after PS4 launch. I want to say like 2015. I'll try and look it up while you guys are talking.
Fiscal year is different than business year, so 2.5, 2 years, somewhere in there, somewhere from 2015 to 2016.
And I guess that's long enough to say, okay, we're fine now.
Like, again, is why I think he's leaving, is because he's like, okay, my work is done. I'm kind of beginning to get up there. Time to retire on top, which is perfectly respectable. And he's still going to be a Sony chairman for whatever it's worth. He is still going to have some input on the board, but obviously that's not a big thing. I will say it's going to be very interesting to see what this new CEO does.
don't think he's going to do anything different if he's
Not
smart.
Shuhei.
Yeah,
not
not
Shuhei.
Shuhei Yoshida.
It's a different
Kenichiro
Yoshida.
Yoshida.
It's a different
Although
Mr.
when they
Yoshida.
first said Yoshida, all they said was Yoshida, and I was like, Shuhei Yoshida's taking over Sony. Like, holy.
Yeah, that would have been quite the leap. But he worked with Kaz for quite a long time, but he's also known for slashing things when they don't perform well.
Yeah, I've heard
He
that as
does
well.
not believe in a long-term, okay, well, let's see if we can turn this around. Oh, okay, well, let's see if we can turn this around. He was the one who pushed Kaz to make the decision to slash the budget for the TVs, to get them refocused, and to completely cut the PC division. That was all Mr. Yoshida, not Kaz. I will say, I'm going to be honest, and maybe I'm being a little too pessimistic here. I would like to be wrong. I don't think they can afford to have any of their studios doing this 5, 6, 7 year dev cycle Media Molecule has been doing with Dreams, or Sony Ben's been working on Days Gone for 7 years. That's not
Dreams is
profitable,
coming out
and
this year.
it will be
Dreams
cut.
is coming out this year.
Dreams is actually coming out this year, apparently.
Yeah, it's coming out this year, and it's going to be great.
They,
Yeah, but
who
a game
knows?
that but their last game was in 2011.
It's true, but it also varies from studio to studio. I remember when The Last Guardian was talked about a lot. People were treating it's not like not all of these games have a 300-person workforce for 7 years, right? Like Last Guardian was basically worked on, shelved for years, and brought back. Media Molecule, I don't know their exact staff count, but I'm sure that Sony understands the limited sales potential for their games. And as like for Bend, it's another shitty situation, but they had 2 canceled Vita games, including a Golden Abyss sequel, and they didn't actually really ramp up on Days Gone until 2015. So,
What? There's a Golden Abyss sequel?
yeah,
So
what?
worst thing
Well,
you could have told me.
Is that the Eye of Indra thing?
no, like they
No,
actually
Uncharted.
they had 2 Vita projects that never ended up coming to fruition,
panned
but
out.
one of them was a Golden Abyss
Oh,
sequel that they
okay, I
were
see
working
Golden
what you're
on.
Abyss is the best Uncharted. That's so
No,
disappointing.
it was not the best Uncharted.
Yeah, okay. But I'm just I don't know. I think that's why they've been shuttering. You know, we saw them close some of these studios. They closed one of the Guerrilla studios recently. I think they're just trying to refocus and better structure them so that they don't run into this problem in the future. And hopefully, it just means they have more resources they can allocate to these
I
teams.
agree. I'll just
But
never
I
understand
agree.
shuttering Gorilla Cambridge.
Yeah,
There were
it
a
makes
bunch of
no
other
sense to
studios
me.
that should have been closed before Gorilla Cambridge was. That would
lot
hurt
of
me
their-
personally.
I don't understand. I don't understand shuttering Evo either, but is what it
Yeah,
is.
I know people bring up that Dreams has been like developed on or been developed for so long, but like it's not like that team is big in the first place. And I feel like Sony kind of wants like a creative outlet game, and I mean, like you have to think about like Dreams isn't really going to be like a game; it's gonna be more like on the PlayStation. So like I feel like it taking as much time as it needs to is perfectly fine.
Losing
I don't think
Evo,
they're
which
I
is
don't think it's not like a big budget game. I don't think so. It's fine.
Anybody else want to cut on Kazurai?
Cool. Yeah, I can talk about Kaz really quick. Good for him for going on top. I mean, dude's probably tired. Dude might be bored at this point. I mean, like, you know, that they've been doing so well for years. It just might be like we're doing so well, like this is boring at this point. Like, I don't like he's going off on a good note, and it seems like the company knows what they're doing, so good for him.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, Jay,
Yeah,
is that I mean Jack Tretton did the same thing, right? Like he helped revive. When he saw it was a success, he moved on. Left.
I mean, like you can't stay for kids forever. You have to let them like go off on their own.
So that's a great way to put it.
And now he can go home and play Ridge Racer 4. I mean, Type 4 as much as he wants. So
although
I mean,
the next Ridge Racer is the rumor is
The
a Switch exclusive.
The next what?
The next yeah I had like a I thought- yeah sorry I don't know what
Ridge
that was all about.
Racer.
Kazurai walks out.
Tired, man. I'm tired. It's been a
stage.
long day. It's been a long
E3,
day.
I'm calling it right now. Nintendo's E3 Direct. Kazurai presents Ridge Racer exclusive to the Switch.
That's the full title of the game. Kazurai presents Ridge Racer.
Kazurai presents Ridge Racer.
Kazurai's Pro Ridge Racer 5.
But I mean,
DLC
like,
will
but I
be
mean,
giant
but I mean,
moving
like,
crabs.
I mean, like the dude has like the public like on his side. He has Sony on his side. I mean, Sony's keeping him on as a chairman to like help with decisions. I mean, he just doesn't have to show up to work every day. He can show up to work or show up to Sony like once every 2 weeks in like his sweatpants and be like, "Yo, I'm here. Let's see what's going on."
Kaz Hirai, motherfucker. Tell me about that Ridge
Good for-
Racer.
I mean, good for him. I mean, like, it's probably some like really tough times at Sony, but like he ended up at top. So, more power to him.
Let's just point out that the biggest Kaz Hirai tragedy of all is losing at Kaz Hirai CEO this year.
It is. It's awful.
This is it.
Oh.
He's shutting down.
He was already. I mean, the owner of that account was planning on shutting down
Yeah.
this year, which just proves he was an
he's the
insider.
best.
He
He's
had
the
insider
best.
knowledge. He predicted this.
As I said before, not all good things can last forever.
They can't.
I've been following that account for like 7 years.
I know, it's weird, man. It's weird to see him go.
Like I've been following that account. It was like one of the first Twitter accounts I followed.
I would love for him. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys want the guy, whoever runs Kaz Hirai CEO, to reveal himself at the end. Like, this is me. It's me.
Nah.
Or just leave it.
No,
a mystery.
let him pass into
No,
legend.
no.
Let him pass on into legend.
Let him
Yeah.
pass on to legend. I mean, he really is a legend, man.
He is, absolutely.
And he's leaving the same year as poetic. It's
He's
poetic.
gonna go on to
miss
Twitter
him.
heaven. He's probably hanging out with Drill's dad or something.
I'm gonna miss Kaz Hirai CEO. I'm gonna miss him. I really fucking will. I've had some pretty rough mornings at work that he has helped me get through. Yeah, good shit, man. Red Neptonic in chat says he has to be a gaff error. Probably.
I doubt it.
Really? You really?
I'm probably not a member, but like he just, someone that reads all the media. Like
He
I
reads
doubt
it.
he he probably wasn't a regular poster.
What if it's actually fucking Kaz Hirai?
I mean, it
That
is.
would- I just that would be a gaming legend right there. Like even more so than
No
if it was
chance
actually
except-
Kaz Hirai.
Say there's no chance except for the fact that he announced his retirement and then shortly thereafter the actual cause announced his retirement. So who knows?
What if it's Phil Spencer?
Whoever it is,
Think about
they're
that.
a legend.
Yeah,
Whoever it is,
seriously.
they're a legend.
Well, guys, breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
AT has just told me that he needs to discuss an important currency.
Oh, we got to close the show on this. Why don't you give us that Saki coin update, JT?
Yeah. So the markets have all reported in today. Currently, the 380 billion, down just 5% from a high of 401 billion seen yesterday.
JT, that's
Total
amazing.
value is also up to 40% from the low of 276 billion, as seen on February 6th, according to CoinMarketCap data. Saki coin.
I'm on Forbes.com right
Saki
now.
coin.
Saki coin remains.
I can report that
position
Saki
as
coin is worth more than Bitcoin right now. So you should
It
get
is
on
the
this.
It is the 2057th market cap ERC20 token, trading at $0.00, down 0% from the previous all-time high of $0. What does this mean for Saki coin investors? Clearly, the broader markets are consolidating, and a move above the highs seen yesterday would establish a bullish chart pattern, thus opening the door for the gains.
Our financial
Back to you,
advisor,
Jay.
everyone.
I swear, if any of you actually makes a Saki coin, I will invest in it. I'm just
see-
letting you know right now.
Everybody needs everybody needs to be invested in Saki coin, right? Like, have you ever seen those commercials about Rosalind Capital Gold with William Devane when he asks you what's in your safe? We're doing the same thing with Saki, okay? Like Saki, like in these troubled times in America with the president that we have, and the Dow Jones falling, you need to invest in Saki coin. It's the only way
if
to
you're
protect
ever,
your future.
What's on
if
your
you're
feet?
ever wondering, the ticker
What's
code
on your
is
feet?
is the $ OKY Saki. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your research.
In chat, Jeff said, "Turns out Saki coin was Tide coin all along."
That's pretty great.
Guys, you need to buy some Saki coin today. Not
on that
yesterday,
note,
not tomorrow. Today.
We've hit our limit. So on that note, we'll go ahead and sign off. So Our guests tonight weren't able to make it, by the way, Mike Futter and Amanda Farrow. Mike is sick, but they will be back. They will be here next week. I've already talked to Mike. So they will be here next week, and it's going to be a really good time. I want to thank everybody in chat for showing up. I want to thank all my boys here, and especially Sam for popping in. Their video game related topics. Sam, you know we always appreciate you.
Absolutely. I always appreciate being on. You guys are great.
Thank you so much for being on.
And of course, we have fixed our intro video issue, but there are still other issues that have popped up because this podcast fucking issues, whether it's my sound cutting out or the chat not appearing in the actual podcast window. So there's
whenever we
something...
have 0 issues is going to be the day when this podcast shuts down.
Yeah, you guys don't need to worry. We're going to continue being as dumpster fires. But we will be back next week. You guys, please also, by the way, please help support us. Please retweet. We would really appreciate it. Like the videos. This podcast, if you want to listen to it again, will be uploaded to YouTube as soon as we're done here.
And we should also be on SoundCloud and iTunes, so I'll tweet out the links to those once those are exported.
Excellent.
Cool. Sweet.
Jeff, that's awesome. Good work, Jeff.
Make sure you join our Rust server.
Make sure if you guys want to join.
I couldn't believe that went I didn't know that was still a thing. I hadn't heard about it.
We had a Rust server?
No, Rust released today.
Oh, wait, what?
Rust? Yeah, it hit 1.0.
What?
I thought it's been out.
No, it's around.
It's here now, finally.
You can go play it.
Be sure to join our rules of survival server.
That's it. That's the one.
Yes, we can have up to 120 players in one match. So please.
If anybody is not a part of our Discord who wants to be, please hit me up.
You know you want to be a part of SDGC after hours.
And after hours, that's the place to be, right there. That's where the real party is. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody's noticed we've been streaming more. That will continue, and we'll have more information very soon about our. So thanks again to everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as always. And as always, it's not always poetry, and we don't always agree.
We always keep it real.
There you go, my man.
That's it. That's the one.
All right.
Final Fantasy VI is not a good game.
What, dude? Why do you have to be like this?
Why would you do that?
Good night.
What the fuck? No, we're not. We can't end on that.
Enjoy a cigarette tonight.
Ruin, you completely. We're going off the air now. Goodbye.
Agree that the world of Ruin sucks.